The prison was designed to break minds, not bodies. Bodies healed. Minds didn't. Orbiting a dead star on the edge of map space, Black Site K-47 held the worst offenders in the galaxy. War criminals, insurgents, rebels who refused to bend. Every system inside K-47 was engineered for one purpose: disorientation. Lights flickered at irregular intervals. Time cycles were randomized. Food arrived unpredictably. Sleep was constantly interrupted. No pattern, no rhythm, no control. Because without routine, sentient beings fell apart. It worked on every species. The insectoid ZYR collapsed into twitching paranoia within days. The stone-skinned drake lost all sense of time and began speaking to walls. Even the telepathic veil went silent. The wardens called it cognitive erosion, a slow, elegant destruction of identity. Then, they brought in a human. Subject: Ethan Cole. Age: 34. Occupation: unknown. Charge: classified. Assessment: moderate physical threat. High psychological unpredictability. The warden, Overseer Krell, studied the file with mild curiosity. Humans, he muttered. Emotional, fragile, easily destabilized. Perfect. Ethan was placed in cell 218. No clock, no window, no sound except the distant hum of failing systems. The lights flickered, then darkness, then flickered again. Hours passed, or minutes, impossible to tell. Ethan sat on the edge of his cot, silent, watching, waiting. On the third cycle, or what the system registered as a cycle, the guards checked his vitals. Stable. On the 6th, still stable. On the 10th, unchanged. No screaming, no panic, no deterioration. Overseer Krell frowned. Increased disruption frequency. The lights began strobing faster. Sound pulses were introduced. Sleep interruptions intensified. The system escalated. Ethan adapted. On day something, he stood up. He stretched. Then he began counting. Not out loud. Not visibly. But precisely. 1, 2, 3. Steps across the cell. Turn. Repeat. Again. And again. And again. The cameras recorded everything. Subject is pacing, a technician reported. No, Krell said slowly. He's measuring. By the next observation cycle, Ethan had established something impossible. Pattern. He tracked the light flickers, the delay between sound pulses, the timing of food drops. Not perfectly, but close enough to build routine. He woke at the same relative interval. Exercised. Ate. Rested. Not based on time, but based on repetition. He created order inside chaos, and that changed everything. Within days, his vitals improved, his stress levels dropped, his neural patterns stabilized. While every other prisoner deteriorated, the human was getting stronger. Overseer Krell felt something unfamiliar. Concern. Disrupt further, he ordered. Temperature fluctuations were introduced. Gravity shifts. Auditory hallucination frequencies. The system attacked every possible sensory anchor. Ethan adjusted. When the lights failed, he counted breaths. When sound distorted, he focused on movement. When gravity shifted, he grounded himself physically. Push-ups, sit-ups, steps, always steps. Routine wasn't just survival anymore. It was resistance. Then something unexpected happened. The prisoners in nearby cells started stabilizing. At first, it was dismissed. Coincidence. Then the data came in. Neural activity in adjacent cells was changing. Synchronizing. To what? The answer came from audio analysis. A faint sound. Almost imperceptible. Tap, 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 tap. Ethan. He was tapping patterns into the walls. Rhythmic. Consistent. Deliberate. A code. The veil picked it up first. Then the drake. Then others. They didn't understand the meaning, but they felt the rhythm. And rhythm created structure. Structure created stability. Stability created resistance. The prison was losing control. Overseer Kral slammed his claw against the console. Isolate him, but it was too late. The pattern had spread. Entire cell blocks were synchronizing, breathing, moving, waiting, together. For the first time in K-47's history, the prisoners weren't breaking. They were organizing. A human had done what no system could predict. He weaponized routine, not against the guards, against the prison itself. Terminate subject, one advisor suggested. Kral hesitated, because now, this wasn't just about one human. It was about what he represented. Observe, Kral said finally. Learn. Days later, the lights failed completely across one sector. System overload. Unplanned. Darkness. Total. Panic should have followed. Instead, there was silence. Then, tap, 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 tap. Dozens of cells. Hundreds. All repeating the same rhythm. Unified. Controlled. Human. Overseer Kral watched the feed in disbelief. They were supposed to lose themselves, he whispered. Instead, they found something stronger. Each other. And at the center of it, a man sitting calmly on a metal cot. Counting. Breathing. Waiting. Because humans had learned something long ago. In war. In hardship. In suffering. When everything is taken from you, you create structure. When chaos surrounds you, you build routine. And when you can't control the world, you control yourself. That is how humans survive. That is how they endure. And sometimes, that is how they win.